Hey everyone, here again with Brad. We're going to be hopping into a video about the path to production, what's been done. We're seeing some questions around permitting, if anything else needs to happen, and what are some next steps. But let's start off. Brad, how are you?
I'm really doing well, thanks, Jason. Yeah, it's starting to turn into spring in Vancouver, so things are good. Work is really busy, and we're setting up for a very good summer, a very good fall. What I'm really pleased to hear is that we're starting to get some input from some of the investors and people that are listening to our videos, answering the questions, trying to clarify positions. I think is something that we will try and do always. So keep sending your questions, keep sending your requests.
Oh, that's awesome. And hey, it's great coming from you. We're here to answer questions. Make sure if anyone has something, drop it in the comments below, and we'll make sure we get it in the future videos. But I guess let's talk about the hot topic of, when do we think we'll be producing gold? But going through the process, for people that aren't, massive gold investors, that aren't familiar in mining, maybe talk about Secova's unique situation, and I guess what the next steps are to produce gold.
Sure. I think you touched on it in that Secova is in a very, very unique situation. We are acquiring a gold asset, but more importantly, what we're acquiring are the permits to mine that asset. The permitting process itself normally takes 3 to 4 years and can be extremely expensive, time-consuming, reports, environmental studies, assessments, all that's been done. And that's all completed. And then we spent some money with Alfard, our engineers, to go over all the permits and all the documentation to make sure everything was up to speed. That process was done in February, March. And now we're in the stage where we've engaged Alfard to go out and produce basically the 3D model of the plant and the construction blueprints so that we can start to put together the mill. Once the mill's done, we should be, and I'll get into more details, but you asked a question, when should we get into production? We'll be in production probably before the end of this year. Our targeting is about the beginning to middle of November. We'd like to run for a couple of weeks. We will probably winterize the mill so that we can operate all year round. But right now we're targeting to do about 10 of the 12 months. So, Jason, to answer your question specifically, we will be into production before the end of this year.
Wow.
All things, that's what's planned. So if you break that down, we start now. So one of the advantages that Secova has is that we're in a position right now where COVID-19 doesn't really impact what we are doing as far as a company goes. The work that we're doing right now can be done by the engineers off-site or in situ, I guess, at home. And that work continues on. I'm just looking at a flow chart here. That work will continue for roughly 3 months, 2.5 to 3 months. And at the end of that process, we will know exactly where each bolt goes. We'll have the blueprints on how the mill will be set up for operations. And in addition, we'll be able to have the specifications to go out and do our bid process. So that bid process right now we're looking at, and again, I apologize for looking off to the side, but we're looking to go to the bid process in about 17 weeks from the beginning of May. So let's say middle of July, August. Yeah, we're probably looking at August now. When that process is finished, we'll be going out for bids. Then as soon as the bids are granted, let's say a 2-week period there, then we'll start the construction period, which is only 16 weeks. So that's 4 months. So we're looking at August, September, October, November. And at that stage, that's when we can flip the switch and start processing materials. So we're in a very good position in that we don't have the 4 or 5 years that it takes to get the permits. We've also identified all the equipment. We've sourced all the equipment. We've got the engineers working on the blueprints. And quite frankly, we're lucky because there's not a lot of construction work going on in the mining industry in Quebec. So we also have access to some very good human resource facilities. In fact, this week we just locked down our general contractor. So, and some of the grants that come along with hiring in that area. So we're in a very good situation. The other plus that we have is the actual ore that we're going to be mining. We don't have to mine. It's simply sitting out there. Our first processing will be simply processing the tailings. There's 1.4 million tons of tailings that are averaging about a gram a ton of gold. And we'll be processing 1,000 tons a day once we're up to speed. So that will give us a good 3 or 4 years just of tailings. Now that's literally getting a backhoe and a dump truck and just putting what looks like sand or this tailings into the dump truck and moving it the 200 or 300 meters to where the processing mill is. It's literally that close. There is a little bit of refurbishment that we have to do on a tailings pond. And what a tailings pond is it collects all the water that's running off of the mine. So we're in a very good situation vis-a-vis other companies that are going into production. We're in a very good position compared to other exploration companies because we have revenue that's going to be coming in the very, very near term. That revenue is more than enough to pay for exploration, not only on the site, because we know that there's some significant gold assets that lie near surface or at surface, just below the tailings. There's been an NI 43-101 report highlighting that. But it also helps us with our other exploration on other projects, such as Eagle River. We've got what I've described in the past as a boring revenue generating model, which may be boring, but actually gets us the money so that we don't have to go and do further capital raises to expand our existing resource and also expand some of our other projects.
So really to cap it off, the next 2.5 to 3 months are planning. You're working with engineers every day, like you say, for this mill to be created. And then after that, it's pretty much, you guys are good to start some production.
So from start to finish, and we're already about 3 weeks in, the entire process will take 33 weeks. So we're roughly 30 weeks away from production.